Wait, there's acid in coffee? Absolutely. If you weren't aware, coffee is acidic. There are over 1,000 chemical compounds in coffee, making it one of the world's most complex drinks. This usually isn't regarded as a bad thing, because when it comes to taste, the acidity is what gives coffee the fruity, lively taste that many coffee lovers enjoy. The acids in coffee range from chlorogenic to citric to even lactic and malic acids. It's not always straightforward as to which coffee will be low acid and have a higher pH. Today, we'll be talking about how you can identify the difference between darker roasted coffees, medium roasted coffees, and light roasted coffees, and how that affects the acidity level after the roasting process. Which coffee brewing method is best for you after talking about different types of brew methods? So, why would you need low acid coffee? If you're suffering from some form of gastric problem, one of the causes could be acid sensitivity, meaning that the tissue lining the stomach and duodenum may be overly sensitive to normal acid levels and become easily irritated. If you are acid sensitive and you do want to seek out less acidic coffees, then there are some types of coffee that are inherently less acidic. Coffees can be categorized into 3 types of roasts. There is light roast, medium roast, and dark roast coffee. Light roast can be described as a light brown color and has no oil on the surface of the beans. This type of roast contains the most caffeine, which contributes to a lower pH and in turn high acidity. Did you know that light roast coffee is 10 times more acidic than a dark roast? Medium roast is a brown color that is a little darker than light roast. Medium roasted coffee does not have any oil on the surface of the beans and tends to have a mid-range pH level. Dark roast can be described as dark brown, even close to a blackened color. It is characterized by drawn-out oil that glosses the surface and contains the least amount of caffeine, which contributes to a lower pH and in turn, less acidity. pH levels. The most common themes you'll find in your lower acid coffees will be Sumatran, Peru, Brazilian, or Nicaraguan coffees, or a blend thereof, roasted to around 435 degrees Fahrenheit or above that will have a pH when brewed at around 5.2 or higher. While there might be plenty of exceptions out there, like a City Plus roast of Colombian peaberry at 5.2 pH, it's more often than not that a dark roasted Indonesian coffee like a Sulawesi Reserve or Sumatra Reserve will produce a lower acidic coffee consistently. Roasting a coffee longer results in more decomposing of the healthy chlorogenic acids that give lighter roasts their acidity. This visual gives a scale that demonstrates coffee compared to water. Most coffee varieties are acidic, with an average pH value of 4.85 to 5.10. Among the countless compounds in this beverage, the brewing process releases 9 major acids that contribute to its unique flavor profile. Geographical locations of where coffee is grown also directly affect the pH levels based on the altitude. Contrary to popular belief, many stomach issues can be cured by just making sure to eat breakfast before drinking any type of coffee. Brewing methods and tips. Acidity in coffee is also directly linked to the way that it is brewed. Under-extracted coffee can affect the acidity of coffee if the grind of the coffee is too coarse, as well as the coffee not being brewed long enough. But what is extraction? And how does it affect your coffee? Well, the moment the water makes contact with your coffee, the flavor and aroma compounds begin to diffuse into the water. This is extraction. The degree of extraction will affect the flavors and aromas in the cup, since not all compounds are extracted at the same time. The finer the grind size, the more quickly extraction happens. A coarse grind size means more acidity. A fine grind size, more bitterness. The longer the brew time, the more time extraction will happen. Short brews are more acidic, longer ones more bitter. The hotter the water, the more quickly the extraction will happen. But too cool a water temperature and the acids won't extract. This affects the flavor notes of the coffee positively or negatively as well. A key characteristic to under-extracted acidic coffee brewing will be notes of sourness. Think more fermented grass rather than a smooth whiskey. This is one of the easier fixes, since all it requires is adjusting the grind of your coffee while making sure not to brew too quickly. Here are some of the most common coffee brew methods, beginning with the highest acidity to the lowest acidity. French press requires a coarse grind and a short brew time, which makes it the most acidic. A drip coffee maker or pour-over requires a medium or medium coarse grind, which gives the coffee a moderate acidity level, since the brew time is no more than 10 to 15 minutes. Using a high-end espresso machine tends to brew the least acidic coffee if using a dark roasted coffee. However, brew time is very short. Cold brew is one of the least acidic coffee brew methods. This is because maintaining colder temperatures during the brew time never allows the oils in the beans to be released. Therefore, cold brewed coffee can be up to 70% less acidic than traditional hot drip coffee. So remember, aim for a relatively high water temperature but a coarser grind size and shorter brew times for a more acidic cup. Grind finer and brew for longer if it's coming out sour. Or use the cold brew method to avoid acids. But don't forget that you'll need to increase your brew time since extraction takes longer at lower temperatures.